Hi everyone, welcome. This is Kyle from Live in Rhythm, and today I wanted to share with you all a walkthrough on the process of how I came up with some of the drum sounds that you heard in the beginning of the video. I had a multi-track drum recording of myself playing drums from a session, and I wanted to take these stems and try to see what else I could do with them and to see if I could turn them into something new by creating new layers of these existing stems and processing them to sound different. Here's what the drum stems sounded like from the original session. The drums have a slight amount of EQ and compression. I decided that I wanted the drums to sound thicker and more compressed and distorted. Instead of processing the original tracks, I made a copy of the mono room mic stem from the original session. The first thing I put on the track was a Slate virtual mix rack, and I dialed in some EQ and compression. I wanted this track to be overly compressed and drastic, so I added two compressors that have two different sounds at the end of the chain to really compress it. I thought of this track as being more of a complement effect to the original stems that I could blend in slightly. In addition to EQ and compression, I added an Ableton Live delay plugin called Simple Delay and set the right channel apart from the left by 7 milliseconds. This caused the stereo image of the mono drum track to spread out and to sound more like a stereo track. I also added an Ableton Live EQ8 and put it into mid-side mode. I low and high passed the EQ on the side channel to take out the low and high end frequencies from the sides and focus them more into the center of the stereo spectrum. The next step was creating a single stereo track of the whole drum kit. This track is all of the drums together from the original session. I decided to use Ableton Live's warp function to track the transients of the drum track. I decreased the transient envelope to shorten the decay of the transients of the drum track to create a stuttering or gated effect to the track. I also transposed the drum track up 4 semitones. Here's what the drum track sounds like with the transient envelope and transposition. This is what all of the drum tracks and layers sound like together. I liked how these layers were working together and wanted to see if there could be even more layers and texture added to this drum track. I got a conga loop and put Slate's guitar amp emulator on it to distort and darken the loop. I also added EQ and compression. The final layer was a tambourine loop made using a tambourine sample from Ableton Live's library. This tambourine loop was put through a reverb plugin and then put into the guitar amp emulator. This darkened and thickened up the thin sounding tambourine loop. Here's what the drum track sounds like complete, with all of the layers and percussion tracks.